Stewart, this is an aggressive schedule with this tour. I have to tell you. June, it starts Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta, Vancouver, Dallas, Old Saybrook in Connecticut, Huntington, Long Island, which is up the road from me, and then it wraps up in Charlotte. Are you trying to rack up the Million Miles Flyer Club? I mean, what's going on here? This is a lot.
Well, when it finishes up, actually in November, uh, then I get straight on a plane from I'm not sure where, straight on a plane to Norway, where I got 4 days to remember how to play my drums, play a concert in Denmark. Then the next morning, fly back to Aspen, Colorado, where my concerto for gamelan and Western Orchestra is being performed. Uh,
Very
so
cool.
it's and then school's out for summer in November.
Nice. So this is your busy period. I have to start by asking you, after so many years, obviously, of being associated with the police, do you ever get tired of talking about your days in the police?
Well, I prefer to talk about myself, of course. And the police is a big part of that story that people could care less about. But I'm good at gardening. I make a nice cup of tea. Hopefully a good father. All these other attributes, which are much more important than what I was doing 40 years ago.
Of course, but people love to talk about what happened 40 years ago. And for me personally, the police is the ultimate band story, so to speak, in terms of creative evolution in your sound. We had the early punk stylings, and then it went into the reggae influences, and then the more synth driven stuff, eventually peaking everything with synchronicity. Each album had this distinct sound. Creatively for you, what was the peak?
I just thought from your thing there of what we should have called the album, Synthonicity.
Ah, look
Ah,
at that.
where
Aha.
were you when we needed
Aha.
you? And what was your question? Uh,
Which one of these albums creatively for you was the peak?
oh,
Because
okay.
again, so many different eras, so many different sounds and evolution. It is for me the ultimate story of a band going from one thing to a creative high point, at least for me, for synchronicity. For you, it might be something different.
Well, no, well, a peak. I'm not quite sure I would rank the albums in terms of peaks, but in terms of how much I enjoyed making them, I would go with the second one, number two, Regatta de Blanc, because we were full of the mojo. We were young, eager, codependent, and we got into that studio just without enough material. So we had to be creative and come up with stuff. And as the albums progressed from there, they got less and less spontaneous and more um, it was more and more of a struggle because we weren't so codependent
Hmm.
because we were beginning to realize that our purpose here on the planet, the Lord above had different plans for each one of us.
Yeah, and that sort of dovetails into the next question I have for you here. I want to focus a little bit on the MTV and video era here. Where I personally, as a child of the '80s, really started discovering you guys. Was it easy for you as a unit to sort of adapt to the coming wave of videos? I mean, for example, was Miles like, guys, you have to do this. You have to get in front of that camera, whether you like it or not. Let's go, go, go. Because there were a lot of artists and bands of the era that really did not, they weren't too comfortable with that stuff.
We were not one of those bands.
Hmm.
Where's a camera? Let me get in front of it. We were absolute, lens hogs. In fact, we all bought a lot of cameras ourselves. I got a movie camera and shot everything that moved, and eventually made a movie called "Does Everyone Stares," which is basically the home movie from hell about the police rocket ship adventure. So no, we were not shy of making videos. But none of course, since then I've become a filmmaker or wannabe filmmaker anyway. But then we didn't really understand the medium, and so we got guys to make our videos for us. In the early days, we had just a camera hosing us down. We just
Sure.
prance around and look like idiots, and they'd hose us down with a camera, cut a video. Then we got in cahoots with Godley and Cream. Uh,
Synchronicity, too.
yeah, and they started making the high concept, expensive stuff, and we just turned it over to them. And they would say, "Okay, stand there, look handsome," which was more challenging for some of us than others. Um, and we kind of they get the credit for it during that MTV. Now you were a child of MTV, so you are going straight to the MTV manifestation of the Police.
That's right. That's right. But actually, Zenyatta Mandata was my gateway. That was my gateway album of all time, which eventually grew into, my unforgiven love for this band. But back to Synchronicity 2 here for a second, and High Concept and all of that stuff. You were in a tower for that video. What exactly happened? Was there a fire of some type? What?
I heard that there was something, because we had wind machines and paper rubbish flying through the air. They just wanted the air, the air to be full of stuff flying around while they filmed, and there was a lot of smoke and everything. And apparently something did catch fire. I don't actually recall the incident. I was up on my tower trying to be as handsome as possible while banging my stuff. And I was very disappointed when they cut the video because I had at the end of the thing, I leapt down like an orangutan, swinging, like the 800-pound gorilla that I feel
Right.
myself to be. And I swung down just perfect, landed on the beat, and just the whole shot was, like King Kong arriving on set.
You
Uh,
kept it together.
they did not use the shot.
Oh, man.
Well,
Disappointing.
because another member of the band was doing something much more handsome at the time, such as singing the song.
Oh, really? Who could that
And
be? I
folks
wonder.
have this strange idea that the song is what the whole adventure is about. I don't know where they get that idea from,
How about that?
but
Stranger
just when
Things.
I was doing my handsome orangutan, some other guy was singing a song, and
You know,
probably a little bit more handsomely too.
exactly. Francis Ford Coppola, he comes to you to score Rumblefish in '83, which at that point I was becoming a soundtrack nut. And I loved the song Don't Box Me In. And I loved the songs that you put together for that and the instrumentals and everything. You used so many different things on that, if I remember. Pile drivers. There were all sorts of, billiard balls clacking, cars crashing, all sorts of things.
Samples.
Yes. Was that,
This
did
is
Francis
before they invented computers.
imagine
Well,
that?
actually, they had invented computers, but not computers that you and I could afford.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I used pile drivers and other dogs barking and such, but it was actually physical tape loops, a tape, 2-inch tape with audio on it going around the room and then across the playback head and around the room, with take up reels on mic stands. So it was
Crazy.
a literal loop going around the room.
Did Francis give you pretty much the creative freedom to do these things? He said, "Look, here's the gig. I want you to come up with it. No guidance. Blank check. Here you go."
Yes, that's how he works. He finds people with whom he is copacetic, and as soon as you're on the same wavelength, which back in those days was, high concept.
Right.
Um,
There's that term
and
again, high concept.
yeah, and then we all grew up. But I mean, he finds people that he feels is on the same wavelength, and then turns them loose, and that's how he rolls. And he turned his movie over to a guy, drummer in a rock band, who had no idea about how films are made or work or anything. But he taught me the purpose of music and film, which is to guide emotions, to provide the emotional direction of the story. And of course, that is the most important, the most potent aspect of any movie is its emotional direction. And most of that comes from the music. Sometimes you have directors like Ken Loach who shoot, they use hardly any music because they get it all in the emotive performances.
Right.
But mostly, music is the single most powerful tool to tell the audience whether they should laugh or cry.
I always say you can't have Superman without John Williams. You can't have Jaws without John Williams, for
Oh, yeah.
example. Take those
Well,
things
the
out.
music the music can negate the data that your eyes are receiving. Your eyes are looking at stuff and a story and facts and data pass before your eyes. Who cares less? Who could care less about that stuff? Until the music starts playing, you don't know how to feel about it. Then the music can change or negate what you're seeing on the screen. The handsome guy says, "I love you." The music tells you he's a dick. And you believe my music before you believe your lying eyes. That's how
Right.
potent the relationship is between music and drama.
I got a couple of more minutes here. I got some questions from some of your fans on some of my social posts, and I'd like to ask one or two of them if that's cool with you.
Sure thing.
There you go. This one is from Mike. Which Police song taught you what not to do as a drummer, and what did you change in your playing because of it?
That is actually an interesting question.
Really is.
What Police song made me change my style of drumming? I'm going to go with Spirits in the Material World, which I usually, it's kind of my go-to weird song that changed stuff. Well,
Oh,
actually, no, maybe for the answer to this question more specifically, it would be Roxanne, because we turned the rhythm bass backwards and played it upside down, and people thus thought it was reggae. So I guess that would be one. But the one that and that was just instinctive. I don't know,
sure.
in rehearsal, I said, "Hey guys, how about this?" Or
Let's
rather,
try it this way.
or maybe not even that. I think Sting was showing Andy the chords, and Andy goes blap 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 blap. Instead of going unch da unch, I went da unch da unch.
Okay.
That's for your drummer listeners out there, they know exactly what I
All
just
right.
said. The guitarists out there, no idea. But Spirits in the Material World is the most messed up because there's no one
Mm.
of the bar. One, two, three, four,
Boom.
2, 3, 4. It's all on the upbeat. And when I play that with the orchestras, they have a very time with the absence of a downbeat because they're
Really?
all up, 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 up. Where's down? Where's
Yeah. Where's the
down?
down? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, I'm not even providing the down because I'm up too. So that's a tough one to play rhythmically.
Last question. This one, Frank. Is there something that you have not achieved musically that you always wanted to achieve? Have all your goals and dreams been fulfilled in that regard?
I have not achieved Jimi Hendrix level of mastery of the guitar.
Oh, look at you.
I love banging on my drums. I'm pretty good at it. Uh, and very proud of my chops on the drums, which are getting better now. Actually, since I do it recreationally, I actually am developing and growing as a drummer in my 74th year unexpectedly. But
Is that all?
my guitar playing, I just don't get paid enough to do enough of it. How come nobody hires me on guitar? But I wish I could play like Jimi Hendrix or Stevie Ray Vaughan.
How long you been trying the guitar for now? I mean, come on.
Oh, since 1968.
I think you picked up a couple of things, my friend.
I think that's the first time I plonked on a guitar with E, A, and D chords.
I think you're
Um,
underselling yourself, frankly.
well, I'm a great rhythm guitarist. Oh man, I kill on rhythm guitar. It's the lead twiddly biddly stuff that you have to be neurodivergent to be that good on guitar. I will say safely, and I say this with love and respect, that there is ADHD, ADD, neurodiversity present in any guitarist who's any good at all, because you don't get that good unless you're able to do this repetitive physical exercises with extreme repetition. That takes a certain amount of autism, and I
It's a
say that
certain
with
line of
respect.
focus, isn't it? It's a certain line
Absolutely.
of focus.
Yeah, I say that it's sort of one of those situations where a divergent mental state
Hmm,
or a difference, a brain difference, actually gives you a leg up, gives you an advantage.
sure does.
Normal
Stewart,
people do not spend hours twiddling on their guitar.
and normal people don't do radio for a living like this either. So we call it
Oh,
even.
yeah, yeah.
Stewart, I want to thank you for your time. Unfortunately, I'm getting the rap signal. Catch him on the Have I Said Too Much tour. All the information, dates, cities, etc. That's all at stewartcopeland.net, correct?
Absolutely. See
There you
you
go.
out there.
Stewart, we will see you soon, okay? See you at the Paramount.
All right. Thanks a lot.